I mean, I didn't forget about 9/11 because it's impossible to forget about 9/11 because there have been, I don't know, maybe 50 events that have happened since then all over the world that are related to it. But I didn't think of it in terms of a composer at all. It was not on my menu, it wasn't in the back. It was just something that happened, and it was a very, very important world event. As a human being, I was concerned with it. As a composer, I was not. Until David Harrington said, we want a piece. Would you write it with pre-recorded voices? And for 2 months, I walked around thinking, what am I going to do? Until finally, then, we're talking January 2010, the light bulb went on, and I said, wait a minute, I have unfinished business. I never dealt with 9/11, which was in my own backyard, literally, and concerned my own family. The only idea I had in my head was, at the end of every syllable of what anybody says, that last syllable is going to be prolonged. It came from Boston, and that N would be prolonged indefinitely, picked up by a violin or viola and doubled, and then going to LA, and the A would be prolonged, and you begin to form chords and textures out of these elongated syllables, which can be now done electronically so that they sound good. They sound like someone's holding their last syllable, and can be blended with the strings. No idea who's talking. No idea what they're talking about. Just this abstract, formal idea. For me, to approach something like 9/11 without going to the people who were actually there on the scene at the time is unthinkable. I'm not going to write a musical fantasy about 9/11. I mean, that's vulgar to me. And I can't imagine doing such a thing or ever wanting to hear such a thing. So then immediately I knew I had to get to the participants who were there, who went through it, and just have them remember, now 9 years later, this is now 2010, what went on that day. And my juices got flowing. I was ready to go. The piece is in the second and third, particularly in the second movement, is very personal. In other words, every speaker there is someone who was someone that I knew personally. So the documentary part of it and the musical part of it were absolutely fused from the very, very beginning. I was born in 1936. No one in my family that I was aware of was involved in combat or trapped in Europe as a Jew during World War II. But I went through World War II basically as a kid going to the movies and watching movie tone news. And there I would see pictures of, Cologne bombed, and twisted steel, and Berlin bombed, twisted steel, broken houses, Tokyo bombed. Suddenly all those shots of Cologne and Berlin and Tokyo were right in front of my nose, and it was in my backyard. I became aware that, that war had been declared on us quite specifically. So the idea that arts is going to, improve the world, in a real sense, in a political sense, in a real politics sense of the world, in my view, and I believe in anyone's realistic, clear-eyed view of it, the answer is, nice idea, but it doesn't hold water. Can it affect a human being individually to make them reassess what went on at the time? I don't know.